Hi, welcome to the second episode of the Chip Skyler Podcast. I am here with Dylan, also known as Chip Skyler,
What's up, everyone?
and today we're going to talk about something that has kind of affected us. This happened more recently, but it still kind of has like a toll on all of us, I think. So, me, Strider, and Dylan all went to this house.
All right, so there was this house across from the street that I had no clue is across the street from my neighborhood, and apparently Brian's friend told Brian about it, and so we were like, I guess we can explain how we've always been like the explorer type, and we've always been daring and exploring like all these weird abandoned places. Like we've done that our whole friendship, I
Yeah,
feel like, but um, so we're like, yeah, let's give it a try. So we I had, like I said, I had no idea that this house even existed, and so we pulled up, and right when we got there, me and Brian looked at each other. I think it's even in the video or whatever, but we gave each other like this look that was like it was just like, oh, we had a bad feeling about this. Like we've explored so much like creepy
yeah.
stuff, like abandoned places, but when we pulled up to this house, like we just got the worst feeling, and like I don't know, people have always said like, "Oh, I feel like I've been being watched or something." Like you'll
Oh,
see that
yeah,
on a TV show,
definitely.
but I've never felt I've never felt that way until like we pulled up. I felt like I was being watched, and it was just really really crazy. But
Cause like I feel
I
like
mean,
whenever we're walking over, you even see in the video like not one thought crossed any of our minds that there would be something scary or not right in the house. Like you see in the video, like
yeah,
we were uppity and whatever, and like Dylan was talking about that eye contact. I freeze framed it for a little bit. It's probably kind of weird, whatever. I freeze framed it and I was explaining in the video that how him and I just like stare at each other for a second, and like we both kind of like knew that there was something weird, because like I have never felt my gut tell me something was wrong until like that bad until I got to that house. Like I've never had that feeling in my stomach that I was being watched, and we weren't even paranoid walking up. Like it wasn't even that bad. Like we were like I said, we were excited, and not one time did anything cross our minds that we would be walking into something that would change how we view a lot of things now.
yeah, it was crazy, and honestly, I've never said no to like going in somewhere. Like I said,
Yeah,
like we've done this a million times. I'm always up for something, but I mean, y'all even went in before I did. It took me a
yeah,
couple times to actually go in the house, but no. When we first got there, I mean, we looked around. It was really scary. The whole entire place was scary.
yeah.
But y'all went in, or I mean, I guess we can talk about the smell. The smell when
Oh
we
my
first.
gosh, dude, there was something dead in there.
It was, people say that like when you smell flesh, it's a whole different smell. It's not like anything was. I've smelled dead animals. I've lived in South Georgia. I know what dead deer smells like. It's common for me, and that was not anything I've smelled before. It was like a demonic smell. It was disgusting. But
And
um,
it was kind of weird because so I've never seen Dylan get that way. Like usually him and Strider are always first ones to go in, and I'm always the one in the back thinking about everything. Like Strider and Dylan are like Scooby and Shaggy. Okay, I'm like Velma. I think about everything, like, but I always think about the worst that could happen. And I mean, I'm not saying that played into what happened in this video, because no matter how paranoid I was, nothing can explain what was going on in the camera. And all right, I'm not even going to talk about what we heard in the actual footage. I'm going to talk about how we felt when we were there. So me and Strider went in. Dylan was too scared. Was understandably too scared to go in. So I told Strider, all right, I'm just gonna take a couple steps and go into the first room on the left. So Strider's like, okay. So he was kind of behind me, kind of not. And I walked into that room by myself, which was a mistake. And you know, in the heat of the moment, anything that was remotely off freaked me out so badly. And there was a table with a little sign that said engram, and for some reason, I don't know where my mind was at. I thought it said pentagram or something, and so I thought that meant that we're gonna die, we're gonna get possessed or something. So then I ran out thinking it was a pentagram, which that wouldn't even affect me if the word pentagram was even on anything. That wouldn't affect me at all. But in the heat of the moment, I was freaked out and I ran out. And then after that, I told them, I was like, I really want to go in by myself. And Dylan, explain what you thought was happening whenever I said that.
Yeah, I thought like something was up with you because, like I said, or like you explained that you've always been like the person to hold back and like, oh, this is always a bad idea, guys. And me and Strider are always the people that do stupid stuff, but you're always the one with the camera. But you told yourself, like, you were like, I'm gonna go in by myself. I was like, what? Because it made no sense. Because first off, this is probably the most creepiest thing we've ever done. And second off, this is not like you because you always stay back and you're always the only one that stays back. But I feel like me and you change places. But even if I was in your position, I would have never went in by myself, and I don't know how. I mean, you eventually explained to me that you're just doing it for footage or something, but I still don't know how you even said those words. But so yeah, y'all went.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna explain more, like what happened after. But yeah, what did you need to say about that?
I was gonna say that like, even then, like, in that heat of the moment, listen, I wouldn't have gone step foot into that house unless I was making a YouTube video. You know? Like, I wouldn't have never stepped foot on that property unless it was for YouTube, which is kind of crazy because I get like, what, 20, 30 views a video, maybe? And so for me to do something stupid like that just to get 30 or something views, which I'm grateful for, but, I mean, it was just, in the heat of the moment, I was like, I felt like we're going to blow up because of this, so I wanted to go in by myself. Maybe just sit in a room by myself for a little bit, but I felt like, now looking back, I realized how stupid I was. Because Dylan, I remember the look he gave me, like, he, like, the whole time in the video, he's doing the Chip Skyler voice, trying to keep things lighthearted, I guess. But then that time, you were like, no, like, you're being dead serious. You're like, don't do that. And I was just kind of like, I was feeling impulsive, and that was really stupid of me. Because if there was a body in there, I mean, I'm not saying there wasn't, but if I saw it, and I was by myself.
That's the number one thing that was going through my mind. That's the number one thing.
I wouldn't know what to do. Like,
and we told each other a billion times when we were like, because we smelled that awful smell. It was just really creepy, and we kept saying over and over. You kept saying over and over, like, if I see a dead body, like, I'm like, that will scar us, and the whole thing scarred us. I couldn't imagine knowing that how just going into the houses scarred us. Imagine seeing a body, how much more that would have affected us. Like, it's crazy. Because I would never be able to, like, sleep again, I feel like.
Yeah, because, like, the thing is that, like I said, in the heat of the moment, I was really, like, impulsive. But, like, the whole time, I was thinking of that movie Stand By Me, where the kids are looking for a dead body, and they find him at the very end of the movie and leave him. But I was thinking, like, you guys are my Stand By Me friends, and if I went in there by myself and didn't experience, this might sound horrible, experiencing a dead body by myself, like, if I didn't experience that with someone else, because I know that y'all wouldn't have wanted to go in and see that, so I would have only saw it just myself. So I remember stepping foot back into that house, like, walking up to the living room, and I was just thinking, I was like, this is stupid. So then I told Strider to come with me. Because if I did see a body, I wouldn't, it sounds horrible, but I wouldn't want to be the only one that saw it. Because, I mean, that's going to stick. If we did see one, like, that would stick with me for the rest of my life. Every time I go to bed, each time I get on a plane, each time I get in a car, on my deathbed, I would know that I saw a body in a house.
That's one of the... Yeah. But honestly, yeah. I guess we can explain exactly what happened now. So y'all went in that first. It took me like 1 or 2 times before y'all.
We went in the house eventually like 4 times, like in that whole day.
Yeah, y'all went in the first 2 times. I stayed outside. Honestly, that was like scarier than I thought. Even staying outside, I thought something was watching me. If you look on the footage I had, I was literally spinning in circles, like, because I thought something was watching me. But so the 3rd time I think is when I went in, and the first thing I see is cabinets, and I pointed out. Paranormal Activity, like, the cabinets are just, they're all open and closed, like, it was really crazy. And then on, like, the living room with, like, a fire pit, I actually pointed this out to you the other day that I didn't even notice. My dad actually pointed it out when I showed him the footage in the video. If you look on the, like, the carpet, it's, like, covered in blood. Like, it looks like stained blood, because, like, what else is red that's on carpet? Carpet doesn't rust. Like, carpet doesn't
Yeah.
turn a color like that. Like, something was on it. And there's no red paint. Like, it's got to be blood, you know? Like,
Because
you can't
red paint
explain.
would stay that color, like the bright red. That was not.
Yeah, and that turned all, like, orangish and, like, what blood does. Like, if you have a nosebleed on sheets and it stays there for, like, a day, it gets all orange
It
and,
gets all like
like,
dark, like really,
reddish.
really dark red.
Yeah, really dark and, yeah.
And
And that's
like
exactly what it looked like.
just ignoring body signals is a huge thing that we really messed up on in this video. Because if I would have listened to my gut, like, I wouldn't have been as scarred as I am now. Maybe I would have. I don't know. But if
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna explain this like chronologically. So we went to the house, and then before we go into the house the last time, Strider points out that there's a bone, which I saw, but I didn't think anything of. But then he picks it up, and Dylan says, "Oh, it's a deer head," and I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever." And of course, Strider's dumb ape picks it up, and I'm like, "Dude, why would you touch?" Anyway, so keep that in mind that there's a bone. I'm not gonna explain what the bone is until we get later on. But so I thought that was kind of weird. Running through my head, I was like, maybe a hunter just goes there and skins animals that he catches and kills, whatever. So me and Strider were inside the house, and Dylan walked in with us, like I said, with the cabinets. And then this is the most scariest thing to me. Dylan put his phone through a door crack, and there was like a silhouette of someone standing there, like just looking. And I can't tell you any more times that I've already said to so many people. I looked behind that door, and I have an LED, super bright light. Like, it's a massive light that can, like, it's very bright. I would have saw it before I even turned my head. Because I was telling Dylan, throughout the entire time we were inside that house, I was letting my camera see stuff before I did. So if I saw something through the camera, like a body, let's say, I would have saw it through the camera and just backed away and not look up. That was my plan. I looked without my camera. I looked with that light on behind that door, because if there was someone behind that door, we would have known. And there was nobody there. I remember specifically looking to check. There was no one there. And through Dylan's... Okay, whatever. We're still at the house. We're not looking back at footage yet. But me and Strider, we went through the entire house, each closet. There was nothing anywhere. The bathroom freaks me out to this day. We think that there was a body in there, because there were two places that smelled horrible. It was the room with the blood that I walked into, which I will get to in a minute, and the bathroom. We didn't even walk into that bathroom because we thought there was a body inside the tub. Like, the whole time I was thinking, this is going to be some Shining crap where some naked lady just comes out of the bathtub just looking at me. That's what I was scared of just seeing a body in there. And me and Strider walked through the entire house, and I didn't put it in the video. And you're probably seeing it right now through the B-roll, but the last room we went into, there was like a pink child floaty. Like a child's floaty that was pink. That kind of creeped me out. That's why I didn't put it in the video, because I didn't want to be... I didn't feel right putting that in the video, because it's one thing, it might sound horrible, but it's one thing if an adult gets, whatever happened there, but it's another thing if a child gets, that messes me up for some reason. So I didn't want to put that in the video, because I didn't want to be like, if a child did die there, I didn't want that to be on the video, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I didn't put that in the video. We just left. Well, we're walking out, and I'm like, hey, there's a room over here, I'm just gonna check it out. And Dylan's like, okay. So I open the door, and I'm like, Strider, don't come in, because you'll block the sunlight. He's like, oh, okay. So of course Dylan comes in anyway, and is right behind me on the stair. And I'm putting my camera, I'm not even looking, I basically have my eyes closed. I'm just looking with my camera. And Dylan's like, yo, is that blood? And for some stupid reason, I looked up, and there was mold on the middle wall. There were 3 walls inside a shower wall, like inside like a shower curtain place. There were 3 walls. On the middle wall was definitely rust. The one on the right was most definitely rust, but the one on the left, it was a totally different color. It smelled horrible in that room. And Dylan
Yeah,
pointed that out, and my stomach just dropped. I mean, I have never felt that feeling in my life.
the creepiest, and that's what like scarred us. Like we know something died there, and let's explain the when we saw white paint buckets, and I just want to
Oh
explain the
yeah,
theory we had. So we basically had a theory that whatever
there
was
was a lot of
there or
white paint
something.
everywhere. So just putting that out
Oh
there.
yeah, um, yeah, and it's obviously in the videos. And there, the hallway had a trail of paint leading up to that one room with a shower curtain.
The
And
bathroom.
I bet to this day there was something in that shower curtain. Y'all just didn't open it because why would white paint be leading up to one room? That's creepy. First off, and it's like, and there's like something could be in the shower curtain. Like that
Yeah.
y'all just open it and there's like a dead body. That's what I felt, and I feel like a bad smell is coming from there too.
Oh
So.
yeah, there were
Um,
two places that the smells came from. It was the bathroom and that room I went into.
So my other theory is that something or whatever has killed something in there, and they're taking, which blood is obviously red and it gets everywhere. And when y'all went into that shower, the first one down that hallway, it was clean as shit. Like
Oh yeah,
there
no,
is
there was
sorry,
definitely something. No,
sorry
it
for the
doesn't
language,
matter. It
but
doesn't matter. There was
e-
definitely like someone
every
covered it up.
every room was like rotted and stuff. And that room, like the shower tiles were like clean, like everything was like perfect. It was so weird, just that room. And we feel like something was killed there, and so this person is getting white paint to cover it up and repaint things. And that's why there's white paint dripping everywhere. And there was white paint buckets in the new one where we saw at the end with all the blood. And half, if you look, half that shower is like fine. It has like
Painted
white on the
white.
door. Yeah, like perfectly white. And the smell of paint, you could smell easily. And the paint buckets on the video, they were like still watery. Like they were
Yeah.
new. Paint dries up within like a week or something. Those were new and they were open and still full to this day. And so we feel like that guy was painting to cover it up, and they were starting to paint the new spot that had all the blood, and they're just, I don't know, they had to go do something or got tired or whatever, so they were going to finish it another day. So we feel like we came at the time where they haven't finished it yet. I bet if we go there now, it's probably fine, honestly.
Well, I was
Like
thinking
it's probably
too,
cleaner.
like, um, one thing to point out is that I don't know if I said this in the video. There were tire tracks that like someone was like just there right before we walked in.
Yeah, like we
Like
feel like
someone
someone was
was
there
no,
like
because
the
the
day
tire tracks
before.
were so recent. Like you can kind of tell like it's one thing because it was muddy, and you could say, oh well, any tire tracks are gonna look fresh, but there were a lot of portions on the road, like on the dirt road or the grass road, where you can see where someone is just there because like grass looks like brighter if someone has driven on it, and it was all bright, like someone's just there. And I didn't put this in the video us exploring the rest of the property, but there was like a massive circle, and the tracks just stopped there. And so we think that
Yeah.
maybe someone stopped, unloaded a body, and just left. Like backed into the property, unloaded a body, and just left. Like it's it's weird because it's weird where your mind goes once you start thinking about stuff. And I think our theory could be correct, but you could always say maybe they're trying to remodel the house to sell it. That's a very very low chance. It's a reach, but
Oh, it's like almost collapsed, you know?
yeah,
It's
like
it's
I already know what my dad's gonna say. He's gonna be like, "Oh well, people were just maybe trying to refinance, or maybe they're trying to repaint the house just to make it look nicer." Because my friend Ben, he has a farmhouse, like really far away from here that is out in the middle of nowhere. It's kind of run down, and each time we go, we clean it up. Maybe that's what people are doing, but there's just stuff that cannot be explained. Like once you explain something, something else doesn't make sense. Like it's
the
okay,
smell. Like
yeah, like the smell. Okay, an animal
something
could have
died there.
died.
It's not even hunting season, so no deer is just gonna die out of nowhere. Like
I mean,
it
it could
has
have
to have
been
been
rats. It
shot or
could have been a
something.
squirrel. It could have been a murder. That's a very low
No, I've
chance.
smelled what
But
I've smelled what that stuff smells like.
it's
But
just,
no, that was a different smell.
it's just because like, especially for me, I for some reason I just get hung up on stuff. That's just me. And I walked into that room, and I remember just hearing Dylan say this blood on the wall. I remember everything. Like I got like tunnel vision for a second. Like everything seemed echoey, like kind of weird. It was I've never got this feeling. He told me, and everything, like the moment he said it, kind of like echoed. It echoed through my head, and I was like, "What? No way!" And I looked over to my left, and there's blood. And at least for me, it messes me up because I could have been in a room where someone could have just gotten butchered. That's what freaks me out. I could have went into a room where people like took their last breath. That freaks me out to this day. Cause who knows? We're teenagers. We might think about stuff that maybe never happened. We don't know. But this is what we have. This is what we think happened. And if you don't believe it, that's your call. But we believe what we believe, and that's what we believe, that someone murdered someone inside that house. Um,
Yeah, and I guess we can.
Start talking about
Your
after.
friend said that your friend said that they saw and they went in the attic apparently and found newspapers that had highlighted missing children on it. Like you
Yeah,
can't
like
explain that
names.
either.
That okay now. It could have been
Like
someone's part of the family. I'm just saying, people that don't believe in ghost stuff would be like, oh well, or just messed up stuff can be like, oh well, that's just maybe someone in the family went missing. Well, how do you explain the multiple kids on different newspapers from different dates? How do you explain that? Someone went into the attic and saw names that were highlighted. That's bottom line. That is enough for me. um, but of course, they tell us that after we go. But whatever. um, so then we got back, and so we're all freaking out. We're like, something just happened, and we all felt kind of off. I think we all felt off after that. I remember like it was just weird. Like that was like a new experience for all of us. I think. So I don't think we didn't know how to react, but it's just kind of scary because looking back, I could have been in a room where someone died in, which freaks me out. Footage. Dylan, you find the footage.
well, this was probably the creepiest part when I mean we looked through the footage and found something like every 10 minutes when we were reviewing the footage. It got scary and scary. I didn't even want to watch the footage. I was so scared
Oh
at that
no.
point. But I guess the first thing that we noticed that was the part where Brian said that he looked down that hall and there's nothing there. When I looked, there was like this like white face or something looking or
Well,
moving. I think it's a spirit orb because if you look on the thing, it moves with me, and
yeah.
it's not. People can say it's a like what are they, like a light lens or whatever. No light lens happens with a phone in a
And
completely
no
dark
lights.
area.
There were no lights in that area either.
There's no
Nothing could have
light.
reflected.
It's literally my flashlight, and no iPhone flashlight creates a moving orb. Like it would have to be sunny outside, but it was completely dark in the thing. That's why I had a flashlight on. Like, um, no, like it like moved for a second, but if you look at it, it looks like it has a face. So I think it's one of those spirit orbs. If you look up YouTube of like spirit orbs, like they're pretty common. So I think that's kind of what it is, honestly. That's the first thing we noticed, and then
Well, I think like
I guess the
we all
scary.
saw different things because from my point of view, I saw y'all seen orbs, but I'm seeing like I thought that was like a light maybe reflecting or something, and then I thought I saw like an outline of someone standing there. That's what I saw. I didn't see an orb. I thought there was someone just standing there.
It did look like a face though, like on the orb though.
Yeah,
I guess I would have to.
looks like an
I
outline
haven't.
of a head.
I only saw it that first night. I only saw it the first night, so I don't even remember it to be
Yeah,
honest.
honestly,
But
I've
anyways,
not watched that
I haven't
video
even like
since I made it.
yeah, I haven't reviewed the footage either for mine. But
It's gonna suck getting all this footage
um,
for this video. I don't want to watch all that again.
then the girl was the weirdest thing. We heard girl voices and talking and laughing, and uh, then Strider was FaceTiming a girl earlier,
But he
but
hung
then
up
when we
before we
went
even got
inside
to
the
the
house,
house.
he hung up. Exactly. And if you sync up the audio, you can
Yeah,
hear a girl
this is
talking
what's the
sometimes on
scariest
my
part.
phone. Yeah, you can hear sometimes someone talking on my end, but you can't hear it on Brian's end because we
Mm.
were recording like right next to each other. And if you sync up the audio, you hear a girl talking on this time, but on my phone you can't hear it, or vice versa. And then the scariest part was when we went into the house and you just heard a laugh, like a demonic laugh,
Oh
like
yeah,
it
that
was.
freaked me out watching that. Cause I remember you and he had a neighbor over, and I was like, okay, because it was just me and him, because Strider left, and so I kind of felt comfortable with someone else over, just because like it's like a bystander, you know. And so I was like,
Yeah.
all right, why don't we just review the footage? Because we haven't looked at the footage since. And then I was like, okay. Dude, I can't explain the amount of adrenaline I got when I first heard that girl. I literally ran like 2 laps in a circle. I was freaking out. Because, like, I remember, Dylan, I remember your face dropped, dude. Like, your eyes, like, widened so, like, wide. I remember you played it, and we went 2 seconds after. It was pure silence, and then you turned off your phone, and I freaked out. And then we watched the whole video through his phone. I was like, okay, let's listen to what my camera has to say. Well, the thing is, the voice would happen on his phone. Like, we sync up the timelines. It would happen on his phone, not on mine, like he said. And it's kind of weird because there was one part where he was right behind me going into the house. And it sounds like the voice is right behind me, but it's right in front of him. And we were like right behind each other. So it was like right between us, which freaks me out. And,
Yeah.
okay, so let's explain what happened that night. That night, so there was definitely some weird crap there. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't care what you say, what you think, but that's pure evidence of something being there. And oh, even my audio has never messed up ever. And
Oh, I was about to say
I
that
got
was when you went into the room. That was when you got closer and approached the room full of paint. It started like getting all static. Like it's clear on the thing, and that scared me.
yeah, and my audio's never messed up. My microphone, it's like 90, I think $100. It's not gonna mess up. You can ask Dylan Schneider. I did 4 audio tests before we even went there. I unplugged it 4 times and plugged it back in, cause I wanted the video to be perfect, which it was, and I'm kind of proud that everything was how it was and how it turned out, like footage wise, because if I would have checked with that microphone, maybe there might have been more audio disconnects, but just maybe, just if you don't believe in this stuff, consider the fact that my audio messed up. It's never messed up before. That there was a voice, and if you don't believe in paranormal stuff, fine. But there was a something dead in that house. I'm not saying it was a human. It could have been a rat. Could have been a squirrel. Could have been something in the attic. I don't know, but something either A got skinned, like an animal got skinned inside that bathroom, or B someone or something just got butchered in there. And
And it's not hunting season, regardless. It's illegal.
yeah, and rewatching that footage of me just reacting to that gives me chills to this day, because like I remember I you can ask Dylan, like the next couple nights was sleepless. So the whole footage thing happened. Editing that footage was the worst thing I've ever done in my life. That was the most stressful 5-6 hours I've ever edited ever, because I would have to take breaks. I got anxiety attacks, like 3 or 4 maybe. So that freaked me out because um, I remember editing and I just couldn't catch my breath all of a sudden like 3 or 4 times, and I had to like step back and watch TV for a second and go back. And I finished it and I uploaded it. And I mean, not only did this whole house thing happen, like it affected my sleep. I could not go to sleep until like 3 or 4 in the morning some nights, which I'm guessing I'm still affected by it, even though I'm not, because that messed up my sleeping schedule. um, but that truly messed me up because it's just nothing. It's like once you explain something, something else doesn't make sense. Him and I just talked for a very, very long time about a lot of stuff around the campfire. And just about like what's going on. And this was never coronavirus just started. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was very depressed at that time because I mean, I knew for a fact I wouldn't be able to see my friends the rest of the year. I knew for a fact that we weren't gonna go back. I just kind of knew, and it just kind of sucked because I knew that was the last time me and Dylan were gonna be able to see each other in person, and Strider.
I didn't
And
even think it was that bad because that same day is when we got notified that school was
yeah, I
canceled for the
literally
rest of the week,
went
and I was
home.
like, oh,
I went home, and they were
yeah.
like, "All right, we're gonna quarantine." I was like, "No way," and it was
Yeah,
just
I didn't even
crazy.
think any of it. I thought Yeah, I thought we were just gonna get canceled for like a week and then everything would be fine. But that's like what, like 3 days into that week, they're like canceling school. I'm like,
Yeah, and now we're
okay.
not even having EOCs or finals, so I don't understand why we're still having school. But um,
It's
it
so
just
dumb.
that night I can't even explain the amount of emotion and just built up that went into that because the house was fresh on our mind. That we couldn't think about anything else, and it kind of gradually got like better, kind of like we stopped. I think maybe like one time a week we talk about it now, but I remember for like 2 3 weeks straight, I've had really a lot of night terrors. Like I've woken up in cold sweats, shot up at like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I just can't
Oh
go to
yeah,
sleep.
same.
Like I've had
Whenever I FaceTime, yeah, you know how I act. Whenever I FaceTime you at night, like I can't even look at my closet or this whole. I have to stare at the side where it's just a wall, so I don't see anything. Because if I look in my room, like I always feel like I'm just gonna see something. Like I get so paranoid at night, especially. I even have like lights turned on and everything, and like I don't know, I
yeah
can't look anywhere but the wall. Like
yeah paranoia plays a
I
huge
get
part
really scared.
in like the after stuff too. Because like obviously the reason why we're having nightmares is because like we're I mean that the scarring and it gradually is gonna get better. I think Dylan is like my therapist honestly, because I couldn't talk to anybody else. My mom doesn't believe in that stuff. My stepdad doesn't believe in that stuff. My sister could give two flying craps about it. It's, I mean, Dylan. I think
Even
definitely
if
agree.
you did believe, yeah, even if you did believe in this stuff, you're never gonna be able to talk about it unless you experience it. Like I've watched
Yeah,
so many scary movies and the things that they've been through, uh, that like we went through. Like if I watched that, like I wouldn't be affected. But the way, if it ever happens to you, and if anything traumatizing has ever happened to you, you get it. Like if anyone's watching this as like had something or they saw something that, if you were to see on TV, you wouldn't get affected. But when it happens to you in real life, like that takes a toll on you, and that's why they call it scarring, because it literally scars you.
and like, it's weird because, um, I remember I'm starting to remember like countless nights where I didn't even go to sleep. I would do like 3 or 4 all nighters because I knew I
Yeah,
would have a dream about it. And of course, you can say, if you think about it, it's gonna happen. Which okay, I get that, but bottom line, we were paranoid. I mean, I just don't think we were prepared for what came of that house. And if we ever do go exploring
I
again,
never in a million years would have expected. Yeah, I never in a
no,
million years would have expected
never.
what happened. I mean, if we knew, we would have never went. We do this
No.
all the time.
If
This
I
was
could go
so
back and warn
unexpected.
myself, I would have.
Oh
Cause
yeah, same.
when I tell you this, like, I feel like it's like a part of me. I can't let go of it. Like I feel like in the next 5 10 years, maybe, but I'm not saying forever, but I'm gonna say for a really long time, it's gonna be affecting me, and it's just it kills me because I don't know truly what's going on in that house. I don't know if someone. We actually went to Dylan's neighbor's dad. That's a cop, and he couldn't do anything about it because it wasn't in his sector, and he was saying, "Oh, y'all are trespassing," which yes, but if I would rather know that someone's okay and nothing's happening than not know because we still don't know to this day if someone got murdered there. That's what hurts me
Yeah, and
because
I
I
don't
don't
know
know.
why. I've been wanting to go back, but I feel like every time we talk about this now, like I'm already regretting it. So, um, yeah, I'm definitely. I don't think we're ever gonna go back, honestly.
No, I'm never stepping foot on that property again. Explain what you heard a couple nights ago when you were out playing cornhole.
Oh yeah, and I've heard this before, and I thought it was just like stupid teenager. But ever since then, like I guess it wasn't really that bad until the other day. It was like 3 or 4 nights ago. We were out playing cornhole with my neighbors, and you heard like four gunshots, like bang, 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 and then, well, no, you hear a girl scream as loud as they could, like a fear scream. It wasn't like a fun scream. You hear that, and then you hear bang, 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 and then it was just pure silence. And it came out of all places, the exact place, because it's across from my street, from my neighborhood. Like, if I was high enough, I mean, I can't see from the trees, but if I was high enough, like, you can literally see it from I bet I can stand on my roof of my house and probably see where it is. But
Yeah, and even in the video,
um,
like walking on the side of the road, you can see it. I mean, now it's overgrown, but during the fall, you can see it. Like by the time we
yeah,
were doing
for
it.
sure. Yeah, it's really close. Um, but yeah, I heard a scream and then 4 gunshots, and then I know the difference between a gunshot and like a firework or something. First off, it's not hunting season. You shouldn't have a gun right now. Why is the girl screaming? And then you hear that, and it was late at night too. Like, Brian pointed out that it could have been target practice. Who the hell does target practice at 12 at
Yeah, I
night?
said
Like,
it
no
could have
one
been
does
maybe
that.
someone just got drunk, took their family down there, shot a couple shots, whatever. But that doesn't explain the girl screaming, which maybe she could have been drunk too and was just screaming just a scream. I mean, if you're on private
Yeah,
property, maybe you might have screamed just because you felt like you're on private property and you can do whatever you want, which I get that. But that's it just there's always that possibility that it can't be that. There's always a possibility that it can be something else, which I think is where a lot of
yeah,
people
and it
debate on a
came,
lot of things.
yeah, and it came from the exact spot, like nowhere, not even like near, like literally the same spot where like the house was. Like it was just, I don't know, dude.
It's too much. It's
And
just
everyone stopped and froze too. Like when we hear a firework blade, we don't think of anything. Or when it's hunting season and we hear gunshot, we don't think of anything. But like we heard like the loudest scream and then like 4 gunshots, and then people just pause. Like it was scary.
wait. So you're saying that everybody like okay? How many people did you tell about the house? Was it just your parents?
Oh yeah, just prepared. No one else knows.
Okay, so they okay. Hypothetically, if your parents didn't say anything to them, and they heard that, and not even knowing what we went through at the house, and they all froze, that's weird.
Now my parents weren't down there. It was like me, my neighbor Mike, and stuff. I think my dad was like getting a drink or something, but no. Yeah, even they stopped. But I feel like I don't know. Every time someone tells me a paranormal activity like story, whatever, I
I'm
always
like
believe it. But
whatever.
like, I feel like with a story, no one believes it. But it's like we even have proof and stuff, and it's
Yeah,
like
like there's
I
proof.
don't know.
That's what kills me. And people are still saying. I show people all the time. I send people the link, and they're like, "Oh, that could have just been radio interference." There ain't no radio interference on a camera microphone or an iPhone microphone. There ain't nothing that it can't happen. There like I would get it if
And
people.
if people want to say people want to say the girl voices are edited, they can
You're
literally
stupid.
take my. I still have the videos on my phone. It's not. It's raw footage.
He sent me a video of creepy girls talking on YouTube. I was like, dude, you're not gonna believe me. I can literally screen record me putting the audio in right now and just play it for you. No one, no matter what, no one will believe me. People will say, "Oh, well, if you know this term," people will be like, "Oh, well, you nested the audio together." No, I can't even nest in this. I can't even nest audio in this editing software. It can't happen. This isn't Premiere Pro. That's not how that works. This is a low budget editing software, good for what I need.
When you edit, like if you put in, say you put in the SD drive and it comes up as like the raw footage, and you put it on the editing software, you can see where you add in like a sound
Sound
effect or whatever
effects.
under it, like because it has the bars under it,
Yeah.
and if you like, because you even screen like FaceTime me, and when you hear the girl voice, there's no bars under it. Like nothing was added. Like if something was added, there would be a bar that says like
Yeah.
girl screaming soundtrack or something stupid like that. Like it's raw, literally raw footage. Like even on my phone, I still have the footage. It's not been edited. It would have said it was edited if I did do it on my iMovie, and it hasn't. Um, because all the projects on iMovie like save, and I haven't even edited anything from this. The only thing I edited was when I put all the clips together, but
So I
I'm not
could get it.
editing anything. I'm literally putting, yeah, I literally just put them all together so I could send them to Brian. But no, literally everything else is raw. Like you can't explain it. It's crazy.
And I mean, Strider wasn't really as affected, I'm guessing, because
I don't
I
know
don't,
why,
I don't
honestly.
yeah, I don't know either. Because like it's scary, because like hearing some like okay, I made a video like 3 or 4 years ago of me and my friends going to a tunnel, and you can hear me say just talking normally, and there's just this massive high like beeping noise that's like echoes, and I didn't hear it. And going back and hearing that while editing, I freaked out. So take that times like 20 in a video now where there's actual voices and audio interference that shouldn't be happening. That is my anxiety level times 100. I have really bad anxiety if you don't know. So hearing that freaked me out. Like, you can ask them, like, I had to, like, sit down whenever we were there and just, like, take a breather because I was freaking out. And I'm a
Yeah.
Christian. I believe that, I mean, God will protect me. But it's just scary hearing that. It's just, it's unnerving. I'm guessing it's just unsettling because you know that something happened there. And Ingram, which is what that sign said, going back to that, it is a funeral home in my city. So you could argue that, you know, I said that people that lived in that house died and went there, which is pretty sad. But that's not what we're really focusing on. We're focusing on the fact that there was a voice that was literally almost trying to have a full on conversation with me. There was one time where I said, all right, I'm going to go in by myself. And you can literally hear the voice say, that freaks, like that.
Yeah.
I heard that. And I just replayed it 4 or 5 times because I didn't believe myself. I like, there's no way maybe my head's just fooling with me. And it wasn't. And that was terrifying to me. And, you know, my mom won't even watch it. She's a really big believer in God. I am too. My stepdad is too. He won't watch the video. I showed my sister, and even she was like, "Oh, well, you added those in." It's like, I can't add those in. Like, I looked her dead in the eye, and I was like, I can't add that in. I just can't. Because, like, it was real. That is real stuff. I don't care what you say. That is legit stuff. Yeah. All right. I hope you enjoyed. Like this video, and we will be coming out with more. Hopefully more recently. We kind of took a break for a little bit, trying to figure out what to talk about and stuff. And so yeah, hopefully we'll be back on maybe like a weekly schedule. So yeah, that will conclude the Chip Skyler Show podcast episode 2, and we will see you in the next episode. Thanks for listening.